Oh, it says my connection's weak. Hope you guys can hear me when you watch this eventually. I just wanted to jump on quickly and talk about breaking down. The importance of breaking down, the importance of breakdowns. I was chatting to my sister about this on the way home, and it feels like something that people need to start normalizing. Breaking down, breakdowns. Life is built of systems, structures, the piecing together of inputs and outputs, and systems are safe because they're predictable. They're predictable, they're safe, and we like safety and we like predictability as humans because we know what we're in for. But we also like change, and we want change. And when we want change, we need to change the system. Now, the only way to change the system is to dismantle it, to break it down. And to break down the system requires some kind of breakdown. To dismantle an emotional system, so an emotional set of laws which are in place which say when this thing happens I feel like this. To dismantle that system so you no longer feel that way requires for you to break that system down. And breakdowns can come in many different shapes and sizes, and a breakdown doesn't have to be a hectic, overwhelming, unhealthy level of self-denial in process. It can be a very healthy, very necessary expression of process. And it can be something that we learn to hold. It can be something that we learn to hold each other in as well. I think that's really what I'm trying to get at, is the normalization of not only our own breakdowns, but other people's breakdowns. Allowing that process to happen. Because life is constant process. There's never a destination. Life is constantly moving. Constantly. It never stops. There's never a conclusion. Never really. There might be a conclusion of that moment which takes us into the next phase of the process. But there's never really a conclusion. There's never really an end. I hear a lot of people saying, this journey never ends. Well, it's life. This healing journey never ends. It's life. Healing isn't a one-off thing that we do. It's a relationship that we have to life. And, we're all familiar with the concept that if we work out, we need to keep working out to stay in shape, or if we eat healthy, we need to keep eating healthy to stay healthy. My point is that it's a constant relationship that we need to cultivate. And if we're going to cultivate a healthy relationship to the process, we need to cultivate a healthy relationship to breaking down. Because breaking down is a necessary part of change and transformation. And if we're really stepping into change and transformation in our lives, normalizing the state that comes between one system and the next is important. It's very important. And there's tools that we can have that allow us to swiftly shift through these spaces. But I feel like from an emotional perspective, if we're breaking down emotional systems that are programmed in our body, it's really important that we start to normalize how we relate to emotions and how we relate to the breaking down of emotions. I now am really blessed to be in a relationship which normalizes process, which normalizes the need for expression. If I'm feeling rage in my body, I go into the bath and I scream it out underwater, or whatever it might be that I do. Like, I don't take it out on Nyeniso anymore in the same way that I once did. I don't allow it to perpetuate further cycles. I don't allow myself to tip into overwhelm, which just regurgitates the trauma or the held emotions and locks the system in place further. Like I allow myself to delve into the process of dismantling. And it's scary. It's scary to dismantle. It's scary because we're stepping into a space where the laws that we once had, the understandings that we once had, the things that were once predictable and safe are no longer there. And so we're stepping into the unknown, and that's what's scary about breaking down. That's what's scary about breaking down into tears. That's what's scary about breaking down with fear or whatever it might be. It's scary, but the more we normalize it, the less of a thing it becomes, and the more we kind of can celebrate our triggers and celebrate the states that we're in when we really address our need for transformation and our need for change. If we really want change in this life, we need to get used to breaking down, and we need to get used to allowing others their process of breaking down. We need to feel safe in the chaos of a dismantled system so that we can transcend that chaos with a new system where we're really choosing our choice and stepping into our choice consciously and creating the world and the life and the self and the relationships and the everything that we wish to really create. To really, really, really have power over our lives, we need to get used to consciously dismantling systems, familiarizing ourselves with the chaos, stepping into that, moving through that, and from that space, consciously deciding what we want to rebuild with the pieces of that dismantled system, or what we want to rebuild in its place. That's where empowerment lies, that's where choice lies, and I really, really, really feel like this is an important thing to be addressing and talking about. Talking to my little sister about it earlier definitely helped me to recognize that it's not a thing. My little sister was saying that at school it's patronizing. It becomes patronizing if she's feeling upset about whatever's going on. It becomes patronizing because everyone crowds around and wants her to talk about it and wants to make sure that she's okay, or wants her to hush, or don't cry, or it'll be okay. And I think once we normalize extreme emotion and negative emotion, once we understand that that is an integral part of being human, it's an integral part of living, then we can address and approach these states, these human states, in a much more healthy and holistic way. Yay! That's what I believe in. That's what I think. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you agree, if you disagree, if you have any questions, comment. I'd love to engage. And yeah, thank you for watching if you got to here. Bye.